Okay, this is a screencast that we're using for the Edmentum students this week on the role of government and an income gap, and it also will be used later on for our campus students as a question that I'll be asking. So one of the hearts of the Cold War was, what do you do? What are the pros and cons of a communist government? And it's a good thing to discuss. You just can't say, well, they're communist and communist is bad, or capitalist is good, or either way. They're very different systems of government, and one values individual freedom and liberty. The other tries to value equity, or the idea of equal distribution. And communism's argument, its theory is that it is better at the redistribution of wealth from the haves to the have-nots. The Soviet Union used a state-run economy to reduce this economic gap, but it was not very successful, and it resulted in shortages and still disparity in income. The Soviet Union communist system economically collapsed in the 1980s, partly due that they could not keep up with the United States military spending, which was a strategy to force communism to give way to a more capitalist society. And under President Gorbachev, working with President Reagan, there were tremendous gains made in the U.S.-Soviet relationships, and with the economic freedom that Gorbachev did bring about, he brought about what was called glasnost, which was freedom, and it brought about some economic freedom and change in Russia and the Soviet Union. So the question is, what should capitalist countries do to narrow the income gap? And it's a yes or no statement. Should capitalist countries try to narrow the gap between the wealthiest and the poorest? And so for this part, you would answer yes or no. You don't have to go much here. But in the next sentence, you've got to give a reason. You just can't say yes because it's not nice to have an income gap. That's not a mature answer. You have to give answers. Equity is certainly a part of it. That means evenness. But what about competing with that is the rights to property. Do people have a right to property? And if the government is taking away people and redistributing someone else, is that theft? So what's the role, especially in the United States, the constitutional role of the government and the limitations of the government with regard to the rights of property and forcefully redistributing wealth? Are there other ways rather than seizing from one and giving to another for no reason? So what kind of policies would work? You should talk about this in your third sentence. Possibly a guaranteed income where everyone in the country gets a certain amount of money to start as a base, and you build from there. Some countries have employed that through the years, and it's worked in some places with some degree of success. What about minimum wage policies? Raising the lowest level of income to a certain amount, like the talk is now to $15 an hour. Conversely, what is the effect on a small business that has maybe 50 employees and works on a very tight budget, and they have to go from a payroll, say, of $300 a week for their 50 employees, which is, $15,000 a week to $15 an hour, and all of a sudden now they're paying $30,000 a week in salary. How would that affect a small business that has only, say, 25 to 50 employees? What about social safety networks, plans like Medicare, care for the elderly, care for the worst, those in the worst conditions, housing rights? How does the social safety network, where basically it's put in to help those people at the lowest rungs of society and paid for by those who have? What about job training? That would be something for citizens. Citizens who are not employable because they don't have certain skill sets, possibly job training in good jobs. And good jobs might not, just because a job is good does not mean it's necessarily a job you may choose to do. What about the concept of a work ethic, that people have to work for their income? What are some of the effects of poverty that you see? The physical, they're obvious, but what about emotional health, well-being issues? How does poverty affect people, and what evidence, the last part, is what evidence of poverty do you see in your community? And again, what do you see when you go around milling around where you live? And obviously in our town, there is a lot of poverty, and we can see the effects physically, but what about some of the other effects, well-being, emotional health, hope? So this will help you with your discussion questions. These discussion questions are heavily weighed in Edmentum. You need to do them, and you need to do them well. For the campus students, you will probably be seeing this later on as we introduce the Cold War. Other than that, it's great to have many of you back on campus today. Have a great day.